Today we're looking at fast farming. We're going to go through mid-game, early game, and some late game. We're going to see what works in FS22. Let's get into it. All right, fast farming FS22. Now, if you don't know, you will need a couple things to do fast farming. Now, some things are just a mod, the height adjustment tool that will allow headers to run faster, which is fantastic. You don't have to worry about it. It just does it on its own. You lower the implement either yourself or just normally how you would, and it'll fast farm for you. It'll run whatever your harvester will run. Now this one's just a cheap harvester. It's like 60 grand in the mod hub. And it will run, a giant header. That's a 40-foot header. It'll run it no problem. Most harvesters with that mod will not matter what horsepower it has. So this header should need like 400 or 500 horsepower. I think this thing only has 300 horsepower and runs it perfectly fine. So yeah, definitely a mod you absolutely need. Now, the other mods. If we come down here, you're gonna need a couple things. Actually, one's under weights. If we scroll all the way over, the drawbar mod. Now, the drawbar mod, there's two of them. So you got this one that has a ball hitch and a pin hitch. So it uses either or. Then, under miscellaneous, you can find these both under the mod hub. They're around, you just gotta search for them a little bit. There's another drawbar, which is just a pin hitch. Now, the pin hitch one works most of the time. The tools get a little loose, but other than that, it works pretty damn good. So, for our low end, I kind of figured roughly around 143 horsepower and 180 horsepower. That's my range I kind of went with. So we got two tractors here. Small 143 in this guy and 180 in this guy here. I mean, cheap tractors. But let's start with the big guys first. So first we got the harvester, 60 grand, not bad. Header, choose whatever you want, whatever you can pay for. If one comes up on the sale page, get it. Will work no matter what. First up here, we got our seeder. Now this seeder will fast farm. This is the no-till drill, the 1590. It's about $41,590. Only requires 85 horsepower. It's a small guy. It only has a 2,500 liter tank, but it will fast farm and it is a direct drill. So I don't have a cultivator on this list for the small ones. So yeah, you're gonna need a direct drill if you want to do this. I have some honorable mentions in the back you can probably see. We'll get to those in a minute. Now this one here, this guy is not a fast farming implement, but it will make your life easier. This is the 9MT. There is a 6MT as well. Same mod, just you can change it. 9 meter plow, but if you turn it backwards, you can use it with any horsepower. It requires, I think, 350 horsepower, but if you turn it backwards, you can use it without needing that horsepower. Very nice for a farm. It's only like 19,000, I believe. It's very cheap, and yeah, can't go wrong there. Now, the Fiatagri here, this is the 180 horsepower, $33,500. Can't go wrong. Doesn't have a front 3-point link, but you probably could add one. There's a couple that are in the mod hub. But yeah, great bit of tool for cheap, and this stuff is kind of your cheaper end. Now this guy's even cheaper. I think he's only about 28,000. He only has 141 horsepower. This is the AgroStar 6.61. Great tractor. Sounds great. Got a 3-point link in the front, so will help out, but it's a little bit lower horsepower than the other guy for a little bit cheaper, but not much. And this guy here, this is your windrow. This is going to be your 6VS6U. Yeah, a little weird. But it will fast farm. Now, with windrows, you got to be careful. Don't go too fast or else it'll jump around and do some crazy stuff. But it will fast farm for you. There's also a weeder, same exact one of this. Just one's a weeder, one's a windrow. Should both fast farm. I did not check the weeder. You can check that out on your own. So all this setup here, it'll let you seed, plow, get more seed. It's a direct drill, so you really don't even need the plow. But if you're going to do plowing, windrow, you know, the only thing it really doesn't come with is a mower or anything like that. This is kind of my early game starter pack for fast farming. As long as you have those drawbars, you'll be all set. You might have to change them out depending on what tool likes what more. There's a couple, and I'll go over that in a little bit. So, fast farming, small tractors, this whole setup, Fiatagri, not the Deutz-Fahr, I believe it is. Yeah, Deutz-Fahr. It'll run you about $152,390 for this whole setup here. Now, I didn't account the header. You can go with whatever you want. If you want to get the one over here, the one that you can actually hook up like that, that's going to be a little more expensive, so I didn't account for that. But yeah, definitely not a bad setup for $152,000. Not that bad. You can make that no problem. So I'm going to jump down real quick. Before we go on, I'm going to jump down to some honorable mentions. Now, some of these can fast farm, and some of them can't. A couple things that are kind of go-tos on my farm. This mower here, this is the HX20. It's $15,000. It can be a mower or a mulcher. It only requires 75 horsepower, and it's a 6.2 meter mower or a mulcher. So yeah, very versatile. If you don't have a mulcher, it just makes your life easier only having to buy one thing. But yeah, a great piece of kit. I've had it on multiple farms. It does well, and it cannot fast farm, but it does do a great job. Now this guy here, this is new. This just came out not too long ago. This is the ground-driven 6-ton. It has a 25,000 liter tank, fertilizer or lime. It spreads out to 24 meters, and it's 15 miles per hour. It goes faster than any other fertilizer spreader or lime spreader. Plus, it uses 5% less than any other fertilizer spreader. And it's only 12 grand. This thing is fantastic. If you don't have this on your farm, sell your other one and get this one. This thing is amazing. I will not use another one unless something even crazier comes out. Now moving on here. We have the Roller 2.5. It's a small roller, but there's not many rollers for small equipment. So this roller is only $1,500. Not bad at all. You can add these together. So you can put another one there and another one there, spread it out. Obviously it is 2.5 meters long. So if you put two more on there, it adds up pretty quickly, and you can add two more to that. It'll definitely add up. It only requires 31 horsepower too. So small tractors, you can put a bunch together and make a good size roller. Yeah, for a cheap price, that's a great bit of kit. It doesn't fast farm, but it will spread out to a good width for a cheap price. Now this guy, this is the Katrina. This thing is beautiful. Yeah, 9,000. This thing is fantastic. You don't even need to have any implement for this. This will fast farm on its own. You just hook it up and you're good to go. It goes 21 miles per hour, 9 meters, and it is a mulcher. So if you wanted this a mulcher instead of that guy, you could run this at 21 miles per hour, 9 meters long, and fly through your fields. Really suggest this. The only thing I don't like about this is so far back that by the time you hit the edge of your field, you actually have to pull way farther than you really need to. It is what it is. It's just kind of the style of it. Great piece of kit. Use it on many farms. Love it. Last off here, we have a John Deere 700. This is a planter. 6 meters. Only 100 horsepower. It'll hold, I think, 1,000 liters if you go for the tanks up here. And it will fast farm. You can get this going. It does, I believe, work better with the ball drawbar. So whichever one has the ball on it, you want to get that one. It works better with it. And honestly, I had no problems flying around with this thing. I tested all these for hours. So every one of these should work. Obviously, the ones in honorable mentions, not all of them work like that. This one does. So great piece of kit. If you're looking for a planter, definitely recommend that one. All right, let's move on to our mid game. Now, mid-game, I'm thinking around 300 horsepower or more. That's what I kind of classify as a mid-game. I tested all these with 300 horsepower, and they all worked. So first off, just a bigger harvester. Nothing crazy. I went with a 24 mile per hour harvester, bigger header, nothing crazy. That's just more of a recommendation more than anything. Still fast farm, have no problem. Now, plows we upgraded. This guy right here is the Ecolo-Til 2500. It is an 8.5 meters, which is technically smaller than the 9 MT, but it will fast farm, so you will be getting things done faster. Now you have to add this extension. It does not come standard. The original one comes with a 3-point link. Change it for this extension, and then you can add your drawbar right there, perfect on it, and it'll fly for you. Yeah, it's fantastic. It does require 310 horsepower, but with 300 horsepower, I was still flying around, no problem. This will cost you $80,000. That's why it's more in the mid-game, a little more expensive, and we'll still get the job done nicely. Next off, here we got a seeder for ourselves. This is the Lemken. This is base game. Lemken Solitaire 12. This thing is great. 12 meters, 180 horsepower, so it doesn't really require much. It could have went under the other one, but it is 165,000. So it definitely, you're going to need to save some money for this one. But does a great job. No problems there. It is not a direct drill. So it's not a direct drill. That's why we got a cultivator here. Now this is the different cultivator. It's actually a disc harrow. It does hook on from the front, and then you put this arm down. It's kind of weird how you do it. You hit left trigger, left bumper, and move your stick down, and that'll drop. Usually it's up in the air. Just be wary of that. When you travel with it, it's going to hook up to here. But this right here is the NVFT 72 disc. It's 102 horsepower requirement, but it's 7.1 meters width, which ain't bad at all. And it's only 56,000, so not too bad. Could have went under the other guy if you really wanted a disc harrow, but with a direct drill, you don't really need one. So not too bad at all. Now, I did do all of these tests with the Traction Kin series. This is the 300 horsepower version. It's 70 grand. It's the cheapest 300 horsepower tractor you can get. For some reason, it still has the issue of getting stuck in second gear. It'll only go 6 miles per hour for a little while until you like jump back into it. It is what it is. It's just an issue with the mod. I don't know if it's on purpose or not, but it works very good. And it is all-wheel drive, so you can change up your tires and everything. Now, I have another planter here as well. Now, this one does need the ball hitch. Just like this one has the ball hitch on the side. This one does need the ball hitch. This is the 1113 planter from John Deere. Fantastic planter. This one is a 7.5 meters, which is a little bit bigger than the other one. It holds 2,700 liters, and it's about 170 horsepower requirement, so it needs a little bit more, but it's not too bad. It is 68,000 though. But for a 77.5 meter planter, 68 grand is not bad. Works fine, will fast farm, no problems there. And it actually has fertilizer too, so you can put fertilizer and seed in it. Good to go, no problems there. All right, moving on. Now we got our end game. Now this is more of a stockpile of what I consider most people's end game is. If your end game is 300 horsepower, don't worry, that's great. I would run the small version as long as I could to make money. But yeah, if your end game, if you're on a small map, then you might maybe even not even hit 300 horsepower. So this is kind of just what I consider, you know, on a good size map, maybe an American map, you're probably going to end up hitting this end game 500 horsepower beast of equipment, just monster gear. So this is my 500 and up horsepower for end game fast farming. So right here, I got the Fendt 1000. Big engine in it. I think it goes 512 horsepower or something. It's a pretty penny, and there's a lot of them. This is the Black Beauty that came out like a couple weeks ago. This thing is fantastic. Love this, and yeah, it does the job. Now, moving on, we have the Big M 450. Now, this thing still can fast farm. They've never fixed it from 19. Works the exact same way. All you gotta do is hire or fold it and unfold it really quickly, and it will work like a charm. Still 24 miles per hour, flies around, cuts everything and swaths. Great piece of kit. Now, this guy is still 380,000, so this is definitely end game. The tractor was 361,000, so we're talking later when you got some money. Moving on here, we have the new plow that just came out last week. This is the 2410 plow, John Deere. It's a nice plow. It works great. I honestly is one of my favorite plows. It's $85,000. It needs 320 horsepower though. I tried it with a little bit less. I tried with the 300. It worked okay, but any less than that, it wouldn't run at all. It is 16.7 meters, which is the biggest plow we have in game right now. So this thing is a monster. And to be able to fast farm with this, you are going to fly through some fields as soon as you get this guy. But yeah, 320 horsepower. It's going to be a little bit before you get this, but a great addition. Now moving on, we have the Great Plains planter here. But this planter will do regular seed crops. So this is the YP 2425A. 142,000, which isn't bad for a big planter. It's a 18.2 meters and 280 horsepower. So really it doesn't require much horsepower, and it will fast farm. I had no idea this thing even could fast farm. Now this one's not a direct drill, but I mean, if it flies, it flies. I mean, I have no problem with that. So great piece of kit here. It's gonna make your life so much easier. 18.2 is a great size. All right, and now, because this doesn't direct drill, we have a cultivator. Now this guy, I tested a couple. You'll see a couple more back there. This guy was the best one I could get to work. Now, this is the Tigermate 255. It's 104,000. It's 18.2 meters, same as this guy over here. So nice even mount. Will require 500 horsepower. It's going to be hit or miss. If you have the 500 horsepower, this thing's great. If not, maybe use one of the other ones. But this thing, it doesn't go as fast as I would like. Because it is a cultivator, I don't know why, but they don't go as fast as they used to. They don't really, they dig into the ground too much. So it does go faster. I think it averages, I think I got up to like 18, 19 miles per hour, which is pretty damn good. It only usually goes 9. So that's really good. But it doesn't go crazy speeds. Now, I have some other ones back here. If you don't want to get the 500 horsepower ones, I looked at a couple other options here. Over here, we have the Rosslamash K12-200. Now, this thing is pretty good. It's 375 horsepower, 12.2 meters, and 101,000. Not bad. It'll only go a couple miles per hour faster. I think I got it up to 12 miles per hour, or maybe 13. It goes a little faster, but it's not 100% fast farming, I would say. Will do a great job at 12 meters, but it's not 100% fast farming. Not bad for the price, but yeah. And then we got this guy. This is the NZ Extreme 1425. This has 450 horsepower requirement, so it needs a little bit, but it is 125,000, but it's 14.3 meters wide. Again, this one does go faster, but not that much faster. A couple miles per hour faster. I think I got this one up to 15. So if you want something, you know, for the 450 horsepower range, this one's not bad. It's a little bit smaller than our big guy over there, but it will do the job. Now, obviously, there are tons of mods out there, and I guarantee I missed a couple, but these are just kind of the ones that stood out to me that were the best bang for the buck, that would fast farm, and have no problem doing it. Some of them obviously have a little bit of issues, and I'm sure there'll be tons of mods that come out where we have plenty of options for fast farming. But definitely some good options here. So play around, see what you like. If you want to use certain bits of equipment, use them. But this is just to help you guys fast farming with ease. Make sure you get both drawbars because they will vary here and there. But I do hope this was helpful. If you want, hit me up in the comments. Let me know what you use, what you want to see if something works. I'll test some stuff if I have time. But the drawbars are definitely the way to go. Test whatever you would like. Give me suggestions if you find something that works better for a cheap price. Yeah, give me some suggestions. But that's going to do it for this one. If you did find something useful, give the video a like. It does definitely help out the channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, we'll be doing more of these, so make sure you are subscribed. And have a good one.